So organising yourself to get your property from contract stage to settlement is a challenge, but you can reduce much of the stress by taking steps to identify any structural and pest infestation issues impacting the property and confirming your finance before committing to buying the property. To learn more about this and the conveyancing process more generally, I'm joined by Amy Andrew, paralegal from Buy the Rules Conveyancing. Thanks for joining us, Amy.
Thank you for having me.
Now, Amy, the REIQ does recommend getting legal advice when buying a property. So talk to us about at what stage would you recommend a buyer engages a solicitor?
Well, ideally the buyer would be sending the contract through for review by the solicitor before they sign it. So it's at that stage, before they put pen to paper, that they reach out. And that way the solicitor can review the contract and make sure that it adequately addresses any of the concerns or any of the needs of the buyer, and that they do understand what they are signing. It's a legally binding contract, and we want to make sure our buyers know what they're signing.
Of course, it's the most important and significant transaction that most of us will complete in our lifetime. And so, Amy, let's press fast forward. We've signed the contract. What is the next step after that?
So we ask that our buyers send through to us a few things and get a few things underway. It's such an exciting time, but to try and set the pace for the contract, we'll ask that they send us the contract fully signed, and they send the fully signed contract to their broker and lender so that they can progress their finance application. The next one is to arrange some insurance over the property straight away, and then paying the deposit. So reaching out to your agent, give them a call on the phone and verbally confirm those account details that are in the contract, pay a deposit. And the last one at this point is to reach out to a local building and pest inspector and arrange your building and pest inspection.
Okay, that's some good advice there, Amy. And of course, there's a range of information and documentation that you'll need to undertake the conveyancing process. So what sorts of documents do purchasers need to give you, for example, so that you can work out what stamp duty to apply?
Yeah, that's right. So there are a few things that we'll need. Again, the contract that our clients will need to complete our client onboarding forms as well, client engagement forms. They'll also need to complete a verification of identity, which all of our clients need to do. The next one is then to fill out some stamp duty forms that we'll prepare for them. They'll sign them and return them. There are a few different concessions that are available to buyers, and most recently we've had an increase in the threshold for our first home buyers, which is really exciting and hopefully bring a few new buyers to the market. And then the last one at this point is the client authorisation form to allow for transacting in PEXA. And really, we just want to say a big thank you to the agents as well. Buy the Rules is the #1 transactor in PEXA, and that only comes about by working with great agents and brokers to be able to do that a number of transactions.
Yeah, that's great, Amy, and it really talks to how complicated and technical the process can be, which leads me to a really important question, because of course when we are buying property in Queensland, there are a series of recommended searches that a solicitor will undertake on behalf of their client. It may vary depending on where the property is located, but why are those searches so important and why are they recommended?
Yeah, it's really important that the buyers are doing certain inquiries of the title and the property, and the reason being is that the property will transfer to the buyer. We want to make sure that it's clear title, but also so that your conveyancer and the lawyers can do adjustments of figures and make sure that the buyer's not inheriting any rates or water from the previous owner as well. So there's a few different searches there. And again, the best way to try and mitigate any issues with the searches is to talk to your solicitor before you sign the contract of any concerns you might have with the property, so they can recommend a clause to go in there so that if there are any specific items you want to check, that you've got the ability to do that.
Yeah, and look, I think it's important to understand that those searches will cost money, but ultimately they are really important important so that you've got peace of mind when you are buying such a significant asset.
That's right, yeah. And we want to make sure that our buyers know what they're signing, know what they're buying, and that there's no hidden surprises down the track.
Yeah, that's right. And I think what's really important to understand is often people might think about a do-it-yourself option, but we always say that's not wise, and you should always use a solicitor because it is quite technical and it's not something you're doing every day.
Absolutely, that's great.
Great. Thanks, Amy. Thanks so much for those great tips and insights.
Thank you.
As we've heard, the buying process is long and very technical in nature, but with the right planning and a good solicitor in your corner, you can avoid pitfalls and minimise your risk. Hi, I'm Antonia Mercorella, CEO of the Real Estate Institute of Queensland. Thanks so much for watching this video, which is a segment from PropIQ, a show produced by the REIQ to help provide insights into real estate for both people in the industry and consumers. I'd love it if you could subscribe to our channel and don't forget to click the notification bell. That way you'll get notified whenever we post a new video. Speaking of new videos, you might want to check out this one next.